How's it going, everybody? This is Alex Caceres, and you're listening to Story of the Fight.
What up, Will?
What up?
UFC Vegas 43 just went down.
Yesterday.
Just went down yesterday. Yes. Before we get going on that, though, just want to remind everybody you can find us on Spotify, Breaker, Podcast, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. Pretty much anywhere podcasts are found.
Yep, and we're on social media at Story of the Fight on Instagram and Twitter. We have a group chat on Facebook called Story of the Fight Chat. Otherwise, always here on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube. And our subscribers are slowly climbing, but it's climbing. So just reminding everybody, if you even remotely like our stuff that we're putting out, just like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell. We try to go live as much as possible. I feel like we're pretty consistent.
How about this? Even if you don't like it, subscribe anyways.
Yeah. Those people that just like to subscribe and hop on and say, like, you guys suck. Hey, just hop on every week with us and let us know.
I'm here for it.
But yes, do you have anything go on this week, Will?
Oh, man, just crazy stuff at work, moving. So, it's just chaos.
Yeah, the chaos is starting for me now, too. And retail is tired. It's that time. And the last couple of days at work have definitely felt like the holidays have kicked in. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Long days, man.
Yeah. Long days.
Not long enough to keep me away from watching UFC Vegas 43, though.
No, yeah. I like it when they do it early, too. Earlier in the day.
I love it. It's like
the earlier, the better for me.
For real. Because then I just get home. I try to avoid spoilers on my phone. I don't hop on Instagram. I don't take a look at any notifications coming through. So as soon as I get home, I start on top, right? Work my way down. I know you're not a fan of that, Will, but it works for me.
It's good. It's just, for me, you got to start from the bottom and go up because it builds to the main event.
No, and that's why let me guess, you don't read books from the back all the way to the beginning? Weirdo.
You do read the back first. I'll give you that. Find out what this book is about.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, interesting ending. Let me read the beginning and see how we got there. All right. So with that being said, last night, UFC Vegas 43, Vieira versus Miesha Tate. Will, what'd you think?
It was a pretty fun fight. Nothing too crazy. I mean, this card, let's be honest, compared to the last card where it was like 9 out of 11 fights were finishes, I think this one was like 10 out of the 11 fights were decisions.
A little bit different from last week.
Yeah, some would say the opposite.
Some would.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to talk shit about decisions, right? Some of the best fights in the history of the sport are decision. There doesn't always have to be a finish. This was a competitive fight. It was fun to watch, especially the second round. I thought like halfway through the second round, they started like really getting after it. And I was like, oh, this fight's turning into something else. And it never really got back to that. But it was fun. It kind of went how I expected it to, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I have a feeling that when you have somebody like the Lioness, right, as champion.
Yeah.
And she says, hey, I'm going to be retiring here pretty soon. You got something like Miesha Tate that's in the background going like, oh, yeah. That's what I've been waiting to hear. Let me get back in this. Let me go ahead and see if I can work my way back up. And I really think that's what Miesha Tate was kind of thinking.
I think that's still what she's thinking.
Yeah. The only thing is that you have new fighters in the division that are killers as well, snipers. Yeah, like a Ketlen, Vieira. And last night might have been a wake-up call for Miesha Tate. It's still going to be pretty hard. It's still going to be pretty hard to hold that belt.
Definitely.
And Miesha wasn't a long-reigning champion.
No.
She did choke out Holly Holm for the title. But leading up to her catching Holly in that rear naked choke, I feel like Holly was taking that fight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what made that fight so crazy is that Holly was pretty much dominating the entire fight up until that moment. I mean, let's be honest, though. two judges had Miesha winning the third and the fourth. This was not. If you look at the damage at the end of the fight, it kind of paints a different picture than what the fight actually was, round by round.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw a few people being like, how could it be this close? Like, look at the two of them. It's like, this is not a toss up. Kind of was a toss up. I mean,
the rounds were pretty close.
They were close. So I think Miesha, she still has a shot. I think. I don't think anybody in this division is gonna like steamroll her. At least yet. It's a setback. It's a setback.
The thing I had to remind myself of, though, is that this was the 7th ranked Ketlen Vieira, right? But
yeah,
ahead of Vieira, you have Yana Kunitskaya. I could see Miesha beating Yana Kunitskaya.
Yes.
You have Aspen Ladd. I could see Miesha beating Aspen Ladd. Juliana Pena, you know how I feel about her. That's the dark horse of the division, right? I don't think she beats a Juliana Pena.
Mm-hmm.
Irene Aldana.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she wins that. I don't think she beats Holly Holm.
I think she can beat Aldana.
You think so?
Stylistically, I think she can close the distance and grapple her.
You know, and
I don't think she.
I was surprised she didn't go to what she knows best and try to grapple a little bit more.
She tried a few times. She was timing the leg kicks really well and shooting on the leg kicks. She just couldn't get it down. You know, the game's different. The takedown defense is different now. You know, when let's be honest, when Miesha was fighting in like her prime in her title run, the level of competition was not what it is right now.
Yeah,
you know, so like the skills have all elevated. So,
and you know, and I think that's when she did do the best is when she had Ketlen up against the cage. And
definitely.
You know, she had her head up against her chin, pressing against her chin in the perfect position, and just smacking her with the right hand. You know, that's when she was doing her best work.
Yeah. And you could tell for me, like watching this fight, all I was thinking was kind of like neither of these of these girls are ready for Nunes.
Oh,
you know,
no.
It's not even close.
You know who is?
Because
Juliana Pena.
Because Miesha was landing. Yeah, Miesha was landing that 1-2, right? That overhand right, and then she'd duck out on the other side and duck back under. But it like wasn't even phasing her. They were big shots. I think probably as big as Miesha can give, and really nothing was happening from them.
Nope.
And kind of vice versa. You know, Ketlen Vieira was landing that uppercut. She was landing some pretty decent hooks. Miesha was never even wobbled.
I mean, you know? I think there was a couple times where Miesha looked stunned, at least, where she was like, "Oh, let me back up real quick. Like, let me not eat two of these in a row."
Yeah, she was stopped in her tracks a couple times, but she was never rocked. You know, whereas those same shots, if Amanda lands her overhand right, if Amanda lands her uppercut,
lights out.
She's putting people out.
Yep,
it's just
Rich,
it's so different.
If you can start with the pictures again, just go through them real quickly. By the way, everybody, Richard Casual, our producer in the background. I forgot to give him a little shout out in the beginning. You know, we love you, Rich. But if you could put the pictures up real quick, Rich. Next one, and you'll see here. Okay, Miesha doing a good job closing the distance, but then boom, right hand. Mm-hmm. Next one. Boom, another right hand for Vieira.
Yeah.
Next one, another right hand. Dude, that right hand, the entire night was there for Ketlen Vieira. And you'll notice here, Miesha going in with the left. So that's what she was doing. She was blitzing quite a bit with her left to kind of close the distance, and then trying to come in with the right.
That was her rangefinder. Yeah,
that was her rangefinder. But similar to last week, when you keep on going back to the well over and over and over again with the exact same move, guess what? A 7th-ranked fighter in your division is probably going to be able to make that read and start counting with that right. But that right was there all day and you could tell because the severe damage was on the left side of Miesha Tate's face. You know,
by the end of it, she was wearing it.
Oh, dude, she was really wearing it. She started looking like Chris Cyborg there in the 4th, 5th round. No disrespect, but there's one where she was up against the cage and they zoom in on her. I was like, oh man, she really looks like Cyborg right now. You know,
and not skill wise.
No, absolutely not. But no, it was a fun fight. You know, I think it was a lot closer than some people thought, but I do think that the more significant shots were landed by Ketlen Vieira.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just, I mean, if you're judging the fight as a whole, there's no question, right? It's just when you start looking at like round by round scoring and stuff like that, where it's like, oh, Miesha definitely took 2. I don't think she took 3 by any means, but it was a 3-2. It's not like Vieira like wiped the floor with her, you know?
Yeah. How did you feel about the amount of respect Vieira was showing Miesha at the end.
Yeah, it was cool because I mean,
She's a pioneer, man. One of the pioneers.
Miesha helped build women's MMA.
She did. And when she was walking out, she ran into Miesha Tate's mom outside too.
Yeah.
You know, and you could tell there was a language barrier. And so like Miesha Tate's mom was like, Miesha's mama.
Yeah.
You know, like dude, she's
just from Washington, just
yeah. So funny.
How about Vieira's walkout though, dude? Pretty sick. She's out there singing, taking her time. She comes in when Bruce Buffer's like announcing her. She's like face to face, like screaming. I was like, damn.
Intense.
Yeah.
Intense.
Very cool.
No, yeah, it was a fun fight. Props for Vieira, who had a great showing, and shout out to Nancy, who's on joining us, and HLB Comer, who's joining us as well. Always. I really appreciate the support. Before that, we had Brady versus Chiesa.
Yeah, you know how I thought this fight was going to go?
How?
I thought Sean Brady was going to be winning on the feet until Chiesa took him down. Chiesa would out-grapple him, reset the next round, same thing, and just keep going that way. Complete opposite. I'm an idiot.
Different, but same.
Same.
Same, but different. You know?
Yeah.
For sure. Oh, man,
yeah. And yeah, HLB Comer, I agree. The commentary by DC it's kind of crazy.
But one of the things that I did want to point out is Chiesa has always fancied himself an outstanding grappler.
Yeah.
When I look back
on paper,
Chiesa's losses,
most
of his losses come from him being out-grappled.
Yeah, the Luque, right, caught him. He was dominating on the ground, but he caught him. Kevin Lee got him. He never tapped, never went out, but still got him the rear naked.
Kevin Lee, rear naked choke. Anthony Pettis, triangle armbar. Vicente Luque, Darce choke. Sean Brady, just dominant performance.
Yeah.
Right? So do we really consider Chiesa one of the highest level grapplers in the division?
I think he's one of the most offensive grapplers in the division. I think when he's controlling and when he's aggressive with it, he's so good. Like you watch like the Jim Miller fight. Like there's some fights where you watch Chiesa grapple and you're like, God damn, this guy is slick. And Jim Miller's no slouch, right? Probably weight class different, right? But I do think he's a really good grappler. You can watch him grapple with Luke Rockhold, who's really good also. He's really good at grappling. It's just I think he's so aggressive grappling that he leaves so many opportunities. Yeah. Yeah.
It was a very nice performance by Sean Brady. Impressive performance by Sean Brady. Taking a look, fighting the 6th ranked Chiesa. And what was he ranked? 12th, I think, going into this?
I think so.
And this is what we talked about before, right? Where we have to have fighters that are willing to fight anybody that's ranked in the top 10, top 15 to keep this division moving.
Sean Brady was 14.
Wow. Hey, props to Chiesa for taking that fight.
Definitely.
You had so many other people in that division that are like, nah, I need to fight somebody above me.
Yeah. And shout out HLB Comer. You fought way too scared. You should have pushed the pace and could have steamrolled Brady. I kind of saw the same thing, if I'm being honest. Especially when obviously it's different, right? Brady's tired. It's been 14 minutes of grappling, but you look at the last minute of the fight when Chiesa when he tries to impose his will, you see what happens, right? When he turns it on, like that's a minute left, I got to try to finish him here.
Yeah.
You see what happens. He has a ton of success, right? Kind of makes you think like if he really turned it on earlier, could have maybe got it done.
And Chiesa's striking has improved a lot, man, since we've started watching him in the UFC. A lot.
Definitely.
Now, what's his coach's name? I don't remember, but
Chiesa, I don't remember.
You know how recently we were talking about Whitman and the night that he had. This coach had the exact opposite between Miesha Tate and Michael Chiesa. And, not to go back on the Tate fight, but I wasn't too impressed with the corner work. Going back, I want to say it was from the 3rd round, and she's sitting there, and it's complete silence. Complete silence. And somebody puts some ice on her back. Somebody gives her some water, and you see her look over, and she's like, so what's up? Or like, what's going on? And it's
man. I missed it.
Oh, it was rough, man. It was rough. But yeah, not the best night for Washington last night.
No.
It is what it is. It is
what it is. Sean Brady, I'm excited to see him continue, right? 15-0 now.
Who do you give him up next?
Yeah, right. I mean, if we're, I mean, you look at the rankings. He just beat number 6, right? So he's not going to end up at number 6 off of this. But Bilal's fighting Wonder Boy. Maybe Magny, but Magny's going to kill. Magny just kills prospects. Sean Brady versus
prospect killer.
Yeah, Sean Brady versus Vicente Luque would be awesome, but Luque's not going to take that fight. But that'd be a great fight. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody else is tied up, you know.
But we got ourselves somebody. We have somebody else now in the welterweight division to watch now.
Yeah, definitely.
And we had Kamaru Usman in attendance as well, and he seemed pretty excited about the outcome. So
I'm sure he's just like, give me new people, please. You know, I'm tired of fighting the same guy over and over and over again.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, though, but Brady is undefeated.
He's undefeated. This is by far his biggest name on his resume, right? And based off this, I don't remember the last person to look impressive against Chiesa, even in beating him. Maybe it's Kevin Lee. But he's kind of a tough guy to look really good against. HLB Comer said he's not ready for the top 5. Looking at the top 5, I don't know if he is either, being honest. You look at those names: Colby, Gilbert Burns, Leon Edwards, Luque, Wonderboy. It's tough.
Yeah, it is tough. It is tough, but
it's tough.
He's young, still undefeated. You know, maybe testing himself against somebody in that top 5 lets him know exactly where he sits within that top 10. You know, and it probably wouldn't be a bad thing for him to take a loss. I mean, I know it sounds weird, but testing himself against a Vicente Luque, walking away with a loss and being able to say, okay, we have something to put on the drawing board now.
Yeah.
What do we work on? What do we do going forward?
And also in this fight, he might have come in with the game plan saying, I'm going to prove to everybody that I can out-grapple Chiesa. And that was that's the whole thing he wanted to do in this fight.
I mean, if that's a game plan, not the first, dude.
Yeah.
Probably won't be the last. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, it was a fun fight though. All right.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Before that, we had Taila Santos versus Jojo. Don't call me Calderwood Wood.
Yeah. Big upset here, right?
No, I don't believe so.
What were the odds going into this? Because Taila Santos took this on pretty short notice. I think she was an underdog coming into this.
Richard Casual, you can look that up to see what the odds were, but I want to say Taila came in a slight favorite.
Oh, well.
Yeah, which didn't surprise me. I mean, I don't want to sound mean.
So I thought when I started this, I thought maybe I just heard it wrong. But when they said the odds right before the fight started, I was like, ooh, I'm going to put some money on Taila Santos. I don't know how she's an underdog, but
Sansan coming through saying Taila Santos is a beast. Shout out Sansan.
Yeah, shout out Sansan. But yeah, that's why when I thought I heard that the odds were I thought she was an underdog going into it, I was like, ooh, that's surprising. I wish I knew that ahead of time. I would have put money on her. But
JoJo seems like a very sweet lady. She seems like a very sweet lady. But I've been saying it for the longest time. The caliber of fighters that she's going to be facing, right? The echelon in that division, I just don't think JoJo can keep up with.
You know what sucks is she was supposed to fight Shevchenko, right? And she didn't pull out of that fight. And I'm not saying she would have beat Shevchenko, right? But but all I know is to get to the top, and you've had the career that JoJo's had. You get to the top, you get your title shot finally, and then the champ pulls out. You take a replacement fight. Probably should have just sat out, right? Yeah. And then after that, it's been 3 of her last 4 losses.
Santos, I had it in my notes actually. Santos completely outclassed JoJo and showed why she was favored. Minus 370 going into this.
Okay, so I had that backwards.
Minus 370 for Santos. Yes.
I'm gonna have to change the description on this video.
Which says a lot about what Vegas thinks of JoJo as well.
I think it says more about what they think of Taila Santos.
You think so?
Yeah, dude. You look at her last 3
huge
fights.
for MMA, minus 370 for somebody that took a fight on short notice.
Dude, if you go to her Tapology page, look at how her run has been. She loses her debut, right? Then she has a canceled bout. Then she has another canceled bout. Then another canceled bout. Then Molly McCann, she wins. Then 2 more canceled bouts. Then Jillian Robertson. Then 3 more canceled bouts. Holy moly. Let her fight.
I mean, Santos, I think, is 19-1 now.
Yeah, clearly let her fight, you know?
She's got power for that division, man. Power. A lot. I mean, we saw some of those combos were nasty. Made JoJo look a lot slower. I mean, JoJo's not the fastest one out there, but Santos is so quick, man. Those combos were lightning fast.
And her timing, too. Her timing and her range is so good. Like, you see a little stutter step to land the big overhand right. Like, it's not just I'm throwing and you happen to be there, you know? She's like, yeah, she looks very good.
Love watching this fight. Can't wait to see her fight again. I mean, she could probably fight soon again. Like, really soon.
I don't think she took any damage.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, if I'm her, I'm saying, all right, let's book me a fight where I have a full camp.
Dude, even her braids were perfectly intact afterwards.
Yeah. So coming into this, she's ranked 10. JoJo's ranked 5. If you look at the rankings, that's exactly what I was going to say. You don't always swap, right? But in this one, you swap them. Because looking at Cynthia Calvillo, she should be ranked higher. Jessica I'd actually like to see that fight. Andrea
JoJo
Lee
versus Jessica
No, I'd like to see Santos versus
Oh, okay.
That's another good benchmark.
Yeah, would be.
But it doesn't make sense now, rankings wise. Yeah, put her in there against Lauren Murphy. I know, you know.
Question just posted: is Taila Santos versus Alexa Grasso next? Ooh.
Well, that's who she filled in for, right?
That'd be a fun fight.
Grasso pulled out of this fight. That's how Santos got it, right?
Because Grasso's another one in the division that has really quick hands, man. Very good boxing.
I'd love to see it. I really like her.
I would love to see that too. All right, man. Anything else on that fight?
Like I said, it's tough, right? You go from getting your title shot, the champ pulls out, and then you lose 3 of your 4. I don't know what's next for her, to be honest.
Only time will tell, my friend.
I think it's kind of, she's part of that old guard of the division a little bit, where, I mean, she was on tough with like Rose and all them, right? Was that the same season?
I believe it
Carla
was.
Esparza, Jessica Penne, I think she was on that same season. And you look at kind of how that pack has been, it's been separated now. You know, Rose is where she is, Carla Esparza is where she is.
I mean, because that was the start of the division, if you remember.
Yeah.
Like that tough was going to lead to the championship fight for the belt.
Rose versus Carla.
Like, it was the beginning.
How crazy is it that season, the 2 that ended up fighting for the belt at the end of it are pretty much the only 2 that are still at the top of their game.
Yep.
From what I remember, I don't remember everybody that was on the season.
Come back full circle, man. And Rose is a totally different fighter now.
Yeah. So, I think, you definitely do that fight. I don't know if you do Grasso versus if I'm Santos, I don't take that fight just because Grasso's ranked 11. If I'm Santos, I'm trying to pull for somebody further. As a fan, that fight's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
That's an awesome fight.
All right. Before that, we had Ronnie Yahya versus Kang, is it?
Kang.
Kang?
Kang? I don't know.
Well, dude, that was pretty good. I mean, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it correctly, but I was very impressed by that, Will.
You're like, that sounded good.
It sounded good enough. But yes, dude, Kang was catching Yahya. He was outstriking him easily, it seemed like. And he did.
Yeah.
He wobbled him a couple times.
He dropped him, didn't he?
He dropped him, I want to say, in the first round.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And I'm like, dude, just back off. Just let him stand up again. Please, just let him stand up again. And I mean, I like Ronnie Yahya as well, but I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan. You know, I just wanted to see a good fight here.
Exactly.
And I was like, please, just back off. Let him stand up. But he kept on entertaining it, going up to him, kicking him. And I'm like, dude, you're just letting him recover at this point.
Yeah. But man, it's crazy because this is such a it's again one of those really good strikers versus really good grapplers, right?
Yep. Look at those braids too, so crisp.
I mean, yeah, his nickname is Mr. Perfect for a reason, you know?
Dang, man.
But
Wow. Impressive.
usually when it's that type of matchup, right? The really good striker versus really good grappler, the grappler usually wins, you know? And after the first round, I thought, this might not be the time, but Yahya it sucks because I don't think his career is over by any means, right? He's older, but the guy, if you go through his page, how many canceled fights he's had, holy crap, man! I remember when he was like a prospect. Yeah, I remember when he was a prospect. Now he's 37. Not the end of the world, because the skill set is still definitely there.
37 is the new 27. You know what I mean?
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
I just turned 37 a couple days ago. So
there you go. Happy birthday.
Hey, thanks, dude.
But yeah, like I said, I'm not going to discount him at all because I've been high on him for years now. It is cool to see him active, just like get him fights, you know?
I love watching Yahya, though, because he's one of those fighters that everybody knows what he's going to try to do.
Yep.
Yahya knows that they know what he's going to try to do.
Yeah.
But it's just a battle of wills, man. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I want to go ahead and impose my will more than you want to go ahead and impose yours. I'm going to impose my game plan more than you're going to be able to impose yours. I'll be able to do a couple shots. And if I go down to the ground, you're in trouble.
Yep.
If you come after me, you're in trouble.
Yeah, for sure stay away. His grappling is so good. For sure, just stay away.
Oh, man. Yeah, and he didn't sink in the rear naked choke, right? You got Richard Casual that's showing this picture, but I believe this was it the second round?
I think so.
A majority of that round, he actually spent, taking Kang's back. So,
I mean, that was kind of the theme of the night, right? Body triangles, and just control from the back. Sean Brady, this one, I believe there's a few fights. We'll talk about a couple more, but yeah, there's a lot of fights where guys just stuck with guys on their back and couldn't do anything about it. Even Santos got the rear naked.
He did. Oh no, she did.
She did. Yeah.
She did. My bad. All right. So before
the one finish of the card.
Oh god, that is. It was long, man. And even when like I told you, I started from the top, work my way down to the bottom. And usually what I do is when I first get on there, and I kind of fast forward up until Buffer is introducing them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, 41 minutes. For the main event. Next one. Oh shit, 25 minutes.
Oh, you watch the individual fights? You don't watch the whole card and just dude, you can't do it like that.
No, dude, I watch the individual fights. It's so much faster. No,
you can't. You want to know why? Because when you see 40 minutes on the main event and you see someone get hurt bad in the second, you know
they weather the storm.
They're gonna weather the storm. There's no pins and needles.
Doesn't ruin it.
It might not ruin it, right? Because the fight's still gonna stand alone and be good, but it does take away from it. It could be better.
Yeah. You know what? I might just go ahead and do what you're saying then, and just watch the entire card, and that would allow me then to start in the beginning and work my way, and just fast forward.
Exactly. Then you skip commercials, you skip all the bullshit.
Dude.
Oh, there it is, dude.
Comer coming through saying casual. You know what? Maybe from the way that I watch the fights, I guess. Put me in there with Richard Casual.
Yeah, I was waiting for one of us to get I think that's the first one.
I love it, man. All right. Before that, though, who are we going to cover?
Shout out San. Agreed.
Oh, yes. San saying, don't underestimate 37-year-old Ronnie Yahya. Age is just a number. I agree with that, man. I agree with that. You know why? Because, again, I'm 37, but I feel like I'm 55. So it's all good. It's just the other way around for me.
It doesn't matter which way.
Nope. All right. We had Yanez versus Grant before that. I was so excited for this fight. This was probably the fight that I was most excited for going in.
Same. And it delivered. This was awesome. This is a great fight.
I'm a Yanez fan. Dude, and I'm a Grant fan too. Grant is just one of those dogs, man. Don't count him out at any point in the fight. He's just going to continue coming forward. Bulldog, I can't put him out. But
his Cheeto Vera fight. This one. His Cheeto Vera fight was fucking awesome. And this one, as soon as they announced this, it was like, all right, this is going to be fight of the night. You know?
Yeah, Nancy just put in agreed. Now, I'm not sure what she's agreeing with. Whether the fact that I'm 37 feeling like 55, Whether I'm a casual, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Or that this fight delivered.
Or that this fight delivered. Not sure.
Yeah. But man, Yanez, we were just talking about like best boxer in the UFC, right? All this stuff. And we talked about Max Holloway's defense isn't there. Dude, Yanez's defense, his striking defense is so high level, man.
Yes.
I haven't seen someone roll with shots that well since John Jones. No, I would say it's better.
Really?
Because it's different, right? Bobby Green shoulder rolls a lot, and he uses it to deflect, right? With that like Philly shell style.
Yep.
Yanez doesn't do the same. It's a different type of rolling where even when he is getting hit, it's not a shoulder roll necessarily. He's just rolling with the shot, slipping under, moving with it, the same way John Jones does. Like, I think a lot of the times, like, I think the Reyes-John Jones fight is much closer than a lot of people say it is. Mm-hmm. I had Reyes winning, but there's a lot of moments in that fight that a lot of people think Reyes was like hurting John Jones with. And you
know how I feel about him.
Yeah, but the shots that were landing on John in that fight looked bigger because he was rolling with them so much. The John Jones, everything put aside, the dude rolls with shots exceptionally well, and I haven't seen someone do it as. He's the best guy since John Jones, I think, to do that. The shots that Davey Grant was landing,
hands down, right, going up and like being able to move out of the way, put his shoulder up so it bounced off the shoulder. But Yanez is so technical, man. Hand up, right, and like you said, being able to slip the jab, ducking under the hook, just beautiful. And I think that the other pictures coming up here that Richard Casual is gonna put up shows. Look right there, boom.
Yep.
Right, bounces off the shoulder. Grant coming in with the cross, bounces off the shoulder. I think there's another one where Grant is throwing a hook, and Yanez is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, and even when he is, right, there's a few times where Davey Grant looked like he was just like clip, just landing. But even those shots that he was landing, Yanez is moving with each of them perfectly. He's never moving into the shot. He's never in a position to be caught off guard. You know, even a 4-punch combo, he's moving with each shot. He's never clashing with it. I mean, the guy's
such a prospect, man. Such a good prospect. I'm so excited for him. I'm so high on this guy right now. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the Randy Costa fight. Both those guys are such prospects. And you know who called him out after this?
Oh yeah,
Sugar Sean.
Might have been in the news. Might have.
Book it. I know Sean's got a fight coming up. If he wins that fight, he's probably going to say, "Never mind. I want to go up higher." But stylistically, what a fun fight.
Two very technical strikers.
Yep. Two very different styles of striking.
Yes.
But I would love to see it.
It would make for a very fun fight. Now, the 30-27 Grant.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, when I heard that, and you see his face too, he was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And even Grant though, like if you look at Grant, when he hears 30-27 Grant, he was like, just looked over like, did I hear that right?
Yeah. I had 29-28 Yanez. I had Grant taking the second round. But, dude, you know who scored that 30-27? Talk about good boxing skills and stuff like that. It was Tony Weeks.
Tony Weeks? Out of everybody that could have scored all Tony Weeks?
Yeah.
Like pro boxing ref, Tony Weeks?
Yeah. Dude, the guy, probably the least.
One of the best flat tops in the business.
Oh,
Tony
yeah.
Weeks. So nice and tight, dude. Just fantastic.
Shout out Sansan.
Tony Weeks sucks. Man, after, he's
crazy.
A very good boxing ref. One of the best boxing refs. Probably not the best MMA judge.
I mean, that's crazy. On a fight, you would think Tony Weeks would have a terrible scorecard on like a grappling heavy fight, but on such a striking fight where one guy is displaying very clear boxing skills, you think he would recognize that.
Yeah, man, it's
well, there you go. Yeah, Tony Weeks can lose my number because that was D-Rod definitely should have won that fight.
Tony Weeks can lose your number? When did you ever share your number with Tony Weeks?
Hey, man.
What do I not know about you, Will?
Yeah,
I don't
but
even
that's
know you
crazy
anymore.
because we've talked about that decision probably more than we've talked about any decisions as being an unjustified one.
Yeah.
Every time we talk about D-Rod, we're like, he should be undefeated because of,
Yeah.
every time he comes up.
You know us, man. Upfront and just. That's my email address. So, I agree. Now, his ear,
Yeah,
dude, it ballooned.
yeah,
That cauliflower ear just
very
like
fast.
that. You know when it happened though?
No, I didn't see like the moment it happened.
Neither did I. But like at the end of the fight, and I'm like, oh, his ear's sticking out so much more than it was when the fight first started, and it is huge, man, huge. And
Yeah,
then
nasty one.
listening to him afterwards, and he's like, oh damn. Oh
Yeah,
shit! Like looking at his ear, in the camera.
he's
It
like,
was
and
so
I'm not a
funny.
wrestler.
No, but again, excited to see on this fight again. Props to Grant though. Again, absolute dog. I'm a fan of Grant's as well. I'm sure he'll be back in there soon. Always puts on exciting fights. So,
When do
both these
we
guys.
when do we start? Because it used to be the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's the top 15.
Mm-hmm.
When do we make it the top 20? Because both of these guys aren't ranked.
Yeah.
And you look at 15, it starts at Cody Stamann, Song Yadong, Frankie Edgar, Asuncao. None of these guys should be out of the top 15.
I know.
So when do we start making top 20s? Because lightweight could use it, welterweight could use it,
Hey, Dana
heavyweight
White,
would
come
never
on.
use it.
Top 20.
Women's featherweight doesn't even have a top 3. But some divisions, it's crazy because like, where did these guys go? These guys are very high level,
For sure.
I mean, Cheeto Vera is ranked 11, and Davey Grant was a very close fight.
Giving him all he can handle.
Yeah. So
Such fun fighters, man. I love that division. I just freaking love that division. Such a fun.
So
one.
let's go a Asuncao or Cody Stamann, Yanez. Let's get him in the top 15. I want to see what he can do. Have him fight Cody Stamann, right? A really good grappler, and test him.
Yeah, I'm down, dude.
Just don't do him versus Frankie Edgar. I don't want to see it.
No more heartbreak.
Yeah, I don't want to see
No more heartbreak, please. All right. For the sake of time, we're gonna skip a few fights. Let me see here. We had Rafa Garcia versus Natan Levy.
Fun fight.
It was a fun fight. Now Garcia, we've seen him fight a few times in the octagon already. Couple losses coming in. I believe he lost his debut against Halkbaras.
Yeah.
Right. And I picked him going into this fight. And I said, okay, going up against an undefeated fighter. Is he undefeated, Levy? I think he was, right?
He was, yeah.
And I thought, but Garcia had some good showings. Even though he had 2 losses to start off in his UFC career, he had some good showings. He showed he had a lot of potential. So I thought there's no way he's going to lose his third fight because he wants to stay in the UFC. He's going to come at him, man. He's going to do whatever he has to do.
I think this was a good – yeah, I mean, the matchup, I thought, matchmaking-wise, this is a fantastic fight to make. And it always impresses me when somebody wins the first round and then loses the second and then wins the third. Right? It's hard if you win the first round and the guy has to change that momentum and take the second from you. That's hard. But what's even harder is to shift it back again and take it back. And he did. So, I was just impressed. And both these guys, I think, have high ceilings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, dude, Garcia's pressure, really enjoyed watching it the entire night. The tank was there. The gas tank was there. And with Levy's looping shots, man, I want to say in the second round on, he started coming in with some more looping shots, which left the takedowns open for Garcia. Dude, 7 takedowns for Garcia that fight.
That's crazy. I didn't realize it was that high.
7 takedowns for Garcia, yeah. And Garcia, by the way, I believe he has a fight against friend of the podcast as well, Ghost Pepper, back in Combate Americas, I think. Right?
Yep.
So
that was one there where Ghost Pepper, Garcia was saved by the bell.
Yes.
In that fight.
That was almost gone. A fun fight. If you haven't watched that, go back and watch it. Ghost Pepper versus Rafa Garcia. That was a fun fight, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Sansan's coming through saying Rafa versus Jim Miller. And just keep that whole connection with everybody going.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. Why not?
That'd
be a fun
all
one
3
too.
of them. Yeah.
It's like a little fight triangle instead of a love triangle,
I like all the guys. They're both like all of those guys seem so respectful. There's no shit talking. They're just fighters,
Just fighters.
Yeah.
We should see if we can get Rafa Garcia on the podcast. We should give it a try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to him.
All right. Lookboonmee. Is that how you pronounce it?
Lookboonmee.
Lookboonmee.
You can just call it Loma.
That'd probably be easier. Versus Godines.
Yeah. Versus Loopy Godines. Dude, I am so impressed with Godines lately. I mean,
Yeah?
she's like she's coming into her own, dude. If you look at this past like year or so, holy shit, man, is she coming alive? It's sick to see, dude. I like her whole gym too. Everybody there seems cool.
Yeah.
And Loma, I mean, we've talked about her before. She's so skilled, and like
Dude, over 200 Muay Thai fights.
yeah, this was one of the
Over
fights that
200 Muay Thai fights. Wow.
when we were previewing this card, Yanez versus Grant was my most anticipated. This was my second most. And just like Sean Brady versus Michael Chiesa, I did not expect the way this fight went down. I did not expect to see NCAA Lupe Godinez out there shooting power doubles and slamming her and just dominating. I did not expect it.
You look, Neon Belly already sucks. One of my least favorite things when we're rolling Neon Belly.
It's the worst.
It's the worst. Try Neon Neck.
Yeah, Neon Neck can't be good.
No, not fun. And just receiving shots straight to your forehead while there's a knee on your neck. Not fun. But you know what? With Loma, I was very impressed with her work in close. And you know, she's a Muay Thai fighter, so a lot of experience, right? But the elbows in close were very impressive. The tight hooks in close. You know, even off the break. Yeah. Oh, the knees, man. When she had Godinez up against the cage for a few seconds, it looked so painful. So it's not like Lookboonmee. Did I get it?
There you go.
Yeah. It's not like she didn't have a good performance herself. I just thought 6-3. Failed a 6-3 now. But again, I think there's a lot of fun fights for within the division.
Yeah, definitely. And for Godinez, it's like, man, she just showed something that she hasn't showed before, right? She's gotten takedowns and stuff and she's controlled on top, but like, dude, the tenacity and the timing of some of these takedowns were, I mean, it was crazy. Some of the shots she was landing, I was like, holy shit, who is this, GSP out here? And like, dude, I'm
coming of GSP.
It's just, you look at like young fighters and stuff and you look for these types of things in between fights and improvements and stuff like that. And I think she's such a high ceiling, dude. I'm very excited to see her next fight.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, she looked phenomenal.
All right. We move on to another tough name. And I believe it's Durden versus Arichi Long.
Arichi
Long. Something like that.
Yeah.
But yes. So, dude, honestly, I thought Arichi Long was going to kind of walk away with this after the first round because Durden looked pretty tired. Man.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, here we go. He's going to start a takeover. And he's like a cockroach, man, that Durden. You know, just when you think he's gone, he just keeps on coming back.
Yeah. I had Durden winning the first and the third. Arichi Lang, I thought, kind of ran away with the second. And like you, I thought after the second, I thought, okay, Durden's tired. Arichi Lang had a really good second round. I think this is just going to continue. And it didn't. Durden took it to him.
That end of the second round was so exciting. When they started trading in the last 10 seconds. Yeah, dude, that was I thought it was going to carry over to the third.
Me too. Yeah. Arichi Lang, dude, his straight shots are so good and so fast, and his timing is so good. And his takedown defense was pretty damn good. And I know he's got like a pretty gnarly wrestling background. It just wasn't enough, you know?
And what do you think in that third round where Durden's trying to take down Arichi Long and Herzog keeps on smacking his hand like, get it out of the cage.
I don't think he was grabbing it.
Get it out of the cage. He did it 4 or 5 times in a row. I
don't think he was actually grabbing it. I think he was pushing off of it, and his fingers were falling into it
a little bit.
Yeah, but I do think he was just pushing off with his palm. Otherwise, if he was grabbing it, I think it would have been a much different outcome. We would have seen, we would have been able to see the results of grabbing it more. I think he was just pushing it off, which you can do.
Durden with a big whoops at the end.
I don't think it was a whoops for him. I think that's who he is. Judging by most of the stuff around him, I think he is that dude.
Elaborate.
There's a few dudes on Reddit who either have trained with him in the past or grew up around him, still live in the same town as him, and they're like, "Yep, surprised it took this long for stuff like that to come out of him."
So they weren't surprised at what you said. They're surprised it took this long.
Yeah.
Okay, and
you give someone a platform long enough, eventually, those kinds of things will come out.
So for anybody that might have not watched this fight and seen the post-fight interview, for anybody that might have not read the MMA news after the fight, Durden said some things that might have been considered racist comments when he says
might have been considered racist
yes.
comments.
So what was it? He says finish him and sending him back to China or something like that. What did he say?
He said, "Yeah, I just needed to send him back to China where he came from or something like that."
Yeah, and it's like, look, dude.
Hey, how about this? Cody Durden, you can lose my number too.
Oh, snap. You and Tony Weeks, bro.
Yeah, he's my number, dude.
But one, never okay to say.
No.
And two, especially in today's day and age.
Yeah, dude.
What? It's going to be put on blast.
And this is the problem with Colby Covington. I think it's all an act for Colby Covington, but this dude has now paved the way for the heel to be just a racist. And there's no place for that, in my opinion. Be a heel all you want. Talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. Conor McGregor, he's doing coke off prostitutes and he's beating up his wife or whatever. Or not his wife, but
hey, that's John Jones, man.
Yeah, it was another girl. Sorry, it wasn't his wife. Yeah. But that kind of stuff, like, I don't know. You can be a heel, you can shit talk, you can bring up family and just be an asshole, right? And that's how you get people interested. But just being a racist, like, there's nothing clever about it.
No.
Like the heel turns that people do, they're usually clever. Chael Sonnen, Conor McGregor.
And you have
guys are clever.
Colby Covington, right? Where maybe it's just me, but I don't remember anything as blatant as this.
No, it was much more subtle, right?
Mouth.
It's much more subtle, but it's there. It's there. When the whole he's a very big proponent of all lives matter, right? He said that it's when he fought Tyron Woodley, it's I forgot what he proclaimed himself. He was like, it's this versus Black Lives Matter. There's some heavy racial undertones of everything that Colby does. Like I said, I don't think that's actually who he is, but it's now opened the door for just racism.
Yeah. Or
that's what he's done effectively.
Look, I don't think Colby's dumb.
And I'm not blaming him.
He's stupid, right?
Yeah.
But I think after last night and watching Durden, I think Durden's just an idiot.
Well, that's the problem, right? So, like, you can't hold Colby responsible for other people's actions, right? Whether or not he opened the door for him or anything like that. At the end of the day, he's not responsible for anything Cody Durden does. And I would never hold him responsible for it. But the problem is when you have someone like Colby, you have idiots like Cody Durden who see that as an opportunity and are now bolstered by it. And they're like, yeah, dude, fucking Colby's talking like he's speaking my language now. And then we have him, exactly, right? Shout out Sansan. In my opinion, in my opinion, and Dana has said this before, where reporters will ask him about comments. And I didn't see the post-fight press conference. I'm not sure if Dana was even there, but a lot of the times when someone says something not so chill, Dana's like, "What do you guys want from me? They're fighters. They say crazy shit. They're violent people. They fight. I'm not gonna. These are just words, right?" In my opinion, something like that, you just cut them.
The organization needs to step in.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, it's just words, blah, 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 all that shit, right? But, like, dude, at the end of the day, this is a professional. Like, he's at his job. You imagine if you went to your work and one of your employees, you have like an Asian employee, right? And you send him home or something because he fucked up at the job, and then you say, "Oh, fucking, like, I send him back to his country." You would just get fired because you're at your job. You don't say shit like that while you're working.
Well, let's just go. Okay, so the goal for Dana White and the UFC is to be considered a legitimate organization like the NFL, like the MLB, you name it, right? Imagine if a football player says, "Dude, I rocked him. I hit him so hard, I sent him back to China.
Yeah,
I sent him back to Mexico.
It's not just that. That's fine for me. You send them back to wherever they're from, right? Like, when you say it like that, that's kind of fine. Yeah, I send them all the way back to Mexico, whatever. But when you say it, you know the connotation when it's send him back to his country.
Yeah,
send him back to where he came. No, it said where he came from.
The NFL would step in. MLB would step in. They would do something to correct,
at least suspend him,
and to try to save face. Right? Yeah. I don't know the UFC is going to do this, which makes me think, like, when are you really going to be taken as serious? Or here's the thing: to be an organization like the NFL, MLB, and all these other organizations you want to be like NBA.
Yeah, well, the UFC. Oh, I remember what Colby said. It was and we'll keep this quick. Shout out HLB Comer. I agree. We don't need to spend a ton of time on this, but the last thing that I want to say is Colby. I remember it was Blue Lives Matter versus Black Lives Matter is what he was kind of selling the Woodley fight as. And let's not pretend like the UFC didn't lean into that in the rematch between him and Usman. Let's not. I mean, Dana understands that. He's not an idiot. He understands that's part of the interest in Colby versus Usman is the pretty right-wing fans who are, and not all Republicans are like this, right? I'm not going to make it all political, but those types of people, the Cody Durdens of the world, are tuning in to watch Colby take out Usman because of what Colby's been saying. The UFC leans into that. I mean, the reason Colby fought Usman is not just because the first fight was good. It's because there's like weird kind of race war undertones going on in the fan base around those fights. And you don't have to look very hard to find those undertones on like the internet. There's a lot. Yep. And I'm not saying Colby's responsible for it 100%, right? He's just selling fights, he's talking shit, whatever. But it's not hard to find those fans out there.
Yep. And there's no place for it. What they have to do is, as these fighters start coming into the UFC, they go through training that's led by Wonderboy Thompson. And
just be a good person.
Yeah. And that's led by Max Holloway. The guys that battle for the NMF title. And they just go from there.
Yeah.
But last one we're going to cover, Nuerdanbieke versus Soriano.
Whoa, you nailed that one.
Did I?
Yeah.
Nuerdanbieke?
Well, it was better the first time you said it.
Damn, I should have just left it at that.
Yeah. But fuck, this was an awesome fight. I loved this fight. This is one that I actually rewatched this morning. Dude, the grappling, the back and forth, transitions, reversals, takedowns. Holy shit.
Yep.
This fight was awesome. It was, the German suplex? The back-to-belly German suplex in the third round? Holy shit, dude.
I know. When I saw that, for me, it's as good as like somebody getting dropped from like a right hook or something. I was like, oh, shit. It was awesome.
That was crazy.
Nuerdanbieke, though, looked solid.
Yeah. Yeah. And Sean Soriano did too. I thought Sean Soriano, I think he's now 0-2 in the UFC. 0-2 in the UFC, but give him another one for sure. The dude's excited.
Soriano came in the favorite in this one too.
Yeah, I don't think many people were aware of Shaylin, or Shaylin. I don't know.
Nuerdanbieke, dude.
I'm not a linguist, but but Soriano, his striking offense and his takedown defense looked pretty damn good in this. He ends up getting taken down quite a few times, but like, it's not like he was fighting a striker, Yep. Like, tough go. This is one of those hard fights in like unranked fights, But he did a good job, I thought. His sweeps were good. His takedown defense, for the most part, was pretty damn good. Even when he got German suplex, he got right back up.
Yep.
Got taken down again right after. But
dude, I thought he was going to give him another suplex right after that,
I
like back to
know.
back.
I know. They stood right back up into the same position.
He started fighting the hands
no.
right away, though. Like after the first suplex, he was like, not again, dude.
Yeah. He's like, I felt what led to that. Not letting that happen again. But goddamn, dude, that was cool. I like fights like this where it's just back and forth grappling, And the stand-up was good, too.
It was. It was. Fight. I think there should be a picture in there, Rich Casual, of the suplex itself. There it is. Look at that.
Dude. If I'm a photographer,
like, dude, I'm going for a ride right now.
Dude, if I'm a photographer and I got that picture, I wonder who got that, because that is fantastic.
That's a sick picture, high.
What a great picture.
All right. I mean, that was it. That was it for the night. Who won performance of the night bonuses?
Taila Santos and Yanez Davey Grant. That's it. One performance of the night, one fight of the night.
We have
shout out. If we got the Street Fighter shirt to even represent that.
Oh yeah. So seems like Richard Casual says looks like Zangief from Street Fighter. Yes, absolutely. All right. We got some news though.
Yeah.
Right, got some news. Or did you want to cover the
moment of silence real quick, because this card got absolutely decimated. Jessica Penne was supposed to fight Luana Pinheiro. Penne withdrew. Let's see. Gavin Tucker was originally supposed to fight Pat Sabatini. That would have been an awesome fight. Let's see. Marcin Prokhnio was supposed to fight Azamat Murzakanov. Could have been fun. I like watching Marcin Prokhnio. Terrence McKinney was the big one. Was one of the big ones. He was supposed to fight for us. ZM would have been. I mean, I was so excited to watch Terrence McKinney. His last fight was so exciting. I think
so last week when we were talking about the upcoming fights, right? You had the Yanez fight. I was excited about McKinney too. Like those were the fights. Like not even the main ones, but those were the fights
Godines,
we're looking at. We're like, oh my god, this card's gonna be so good.
Yeah. Grasso was originally supposed to fight JoJo. That didn't happen. But the biggest one, Tai Tuivasa versus Augusta Sakai. Fuck, that would have been sick. This card needed something like that.
Yes, it did. I think that fight's still on, though, right?
I think well, because it was just because of visa issues. No one got injured or anything like that. It's booked for 269.
Booked for 269. There we go.
Great fight.
All right, Rich, throw some news our way. What we got? Are you still there, Rich?
I am here. Sorry, I sound a little weird. I'm under the weather, but I've got the news coming right up. We have something. Who is this guy?
Oh, that's Durden. So that's the guy we were just talking about.
Yes. Fighters
and I know that
condemn
there's a lot of fighter reaction, right?
Cody Durden, and they weigh in, and it looks like we got some tweets lined up. Are we going to read these tweets?
Pick a couple.
Okay, let me take the overlay away.
Julian Marquez.
Well, that dude's a cunt.
Well, that dude's a cunt. Fuck Cody Durden. Racism is never cool. Piece of shit. Hashtag UFC Vegas 43. Wow. Way to shit on your own performance. Shake my head.
Hey, why did they put those tweets up, though? That's what I want to know during the live.
Who's picking those? Way to comfort say that ignorant shit. UFC Vegas 43. Hashtag trying too hard.
Yeah.
Next.
And that's where you said people trying to play into a specific card, right? Like we probably don't have to go through all of them, but obviously there's a lot of fighters that are
Cody Durden making white people look dumb again.
Uber upset. A lot of people looking uber upset. Yeah. Brandon Royval.
That's the best one. I love Brandon.
The flyweight
Royval,
Colby.
Dude.
If Colby had zero striking.
He had zero striking and ground game.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, it struck a chord with a lot of people, right? It struck a chord with a lot of people. So,
such a bozo.
Hopefully, we'll see what happens here. Whether it's, him either coming out and saying more about it, or Dana doing something, or UFC. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. What else do we have?
After this, it looks like Terrence Crawford stops
Sean Porter.
Yeah.
Rich, I love as you're reading these out, you're like, who are these people?
No, you're right. You're right. Sorry.
It's so funny.
But Terrence Crawford continues saying he is the pound for pound #1 boxer, right? Did you have a chance to watch this fight?
I saw highlights.
You saw highlights?
Yeah.
But Terrence Crawford, man, dude, he's so good even off his back foot.
Yeah.
His counters off his back foot are amazing.
His problem is the resume, and like the lack of kind of competition that he's facing, right?
Yeah.
Because the skill set, a lot of people have him pound for pound, all this stuff. I don't, just because the skill set is like clearly there, but it hasn't been proven and tested enough to be pound for pound, in my opinion.
How about Canelo going up to cruiserweight now too?
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
That's crazy, dude.
One of the goats.
Cruiserweight,
man.
like, dude. You know who was just the cruiserweight champ before moving up to heavyweight is Usyk. You imagine Canelo versus Usyk? Like, what?
Oh my
Doesn't
God.
even make sense. Like, it's hard to even wrap your head around it. Dude fought Mayweather at like 154. Like,
But,
what?
dude, to have a boxer that's willing to go up that many weight classes, is just super impressive, I think.
Yeah.
And honestly, in that fight, win or lose, the cojones on that man to say, hey, I want to continue taking on larger weight classes.
Yeah.
It's just super impressive, man. Super impressive. I wonder if HLB, Comer, and Sansa and everybody else watch boxing too, or if it's just strictly MMA.
I think we've talked to HLB Comer about boxing before. I could be wrong. I feel like we have. I don't think we've talked to Sansa about boxing.
Rich, it's okay, man, because just now you're trying to catch up to MMA, so I completely understand if you don't know who Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter are.
Dude, putting together these slideshow PowerPoint presentations about UFC is getting me so far. We'll have to do some boxing ones.
Just as homework. Do we have anything else, sir?
Yeah, we got one more. O'Malley says he wants to fight Yanez in March.
Yeah,
do we like this matchup?
I like the matchup. O'Malley's got a tough test coming up, though. Paiva's no joke. That is a tough test.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think we've talked about it before. When you have two young prospects that go up against each other and you're like, but why? Because they're both still ascending. And it's kind of one of those situations with Yanez and O'Malley. But at the exact same time, I'm like, let's see them. Yes. Yeah. Right? Let's do this. HLB Comer says, I watch the big boxing fights, not as deep as MMA. That's kind of where I feel like I'm at with boxing now, too. Like I'll know the really big names. But slowly but surely I'm, just kind of stepping away from boxing.
Yeah, well, it's hard because they've kind of done it themselves because we don't get to see a Yanez Grant type fight in boxing that often. Like it's all about they've done that to themselves and pushing like the big fights more than anything else. That's all they do is push the big fights. They don't try to sell anything else. Whereas the UFC will sell the entire card and say, look at these up and coming killers and actually market them, where boxing only markets the main event. They don't even talk about the prelims or even the undercard. They only talk about the main matchup, to the point where when people talk about watching boxing, they say, did you see the fight? When they talk about MMA, they say, did you watch the fights? Because
that's very true. Yeah.
Boxing has done it to themselves, So it's harder. It's harder to be that deep into boxing than it is for MMA. MMA, it's like they do the job for you,
And I love the fact that there's good fights on every week.
Yeah.
Every week. And I know boxing has fights on almost every week too, but fights that I'm excited for every week. So yeah, definitely MMA all the way, dude. MMA all the way. All right. Was that it, Richard Castro? I think he said that was the last one, right? Oh no,
one more.
Another
Henry
one just popped up.
Shout out. I will hold John Jones accountable. I know this guy.
You know who? John Jones?
No, Cejudo.
Oh, you
Friend of the
don't know
show.
who John Jones is?
Oh yeah, I know him too. But I'm saying.
So you know two of them?
Yeah, both of them.
But Cejudo did our
intro. Yep.
Oh, that's right.
Hey, shout out Baby Drew.
Baby Drew coming through. I still can't get past all the clinch breaking in boxing. Yeah,
It is a lot.
It is a lot, for sure.
It's a lot.
I mean, there's just a lot of things that, make me more drawn to MMA. So
How is he gonna hold him accountable? Like, is Cejudo a prison guard?
yeah, I don't know, man, but I
This
could
is
just
just
picture them
Cejudo
going
trying to
out
stay
together,
relevant.
you know, and John Jones getting out of hand and Cejudo being right next to him, being like, "Hey, John, stop!" And then like John Jones picking him up and putting him in his pocket and zipping up his pocket and be
Yeah.
like, "You're gonna come out later," you know? Like, what's he gonna do?
Like you remember you saw Wolf of Wall Street, right?
Oh yeah.
Remember when they have the party and they have like the
Is that when he crawls out to his Ferrari?
they have the party and they have the little person. Remember that?
Yes.
That's John Jones after doing a bunch of coke with Cejudo.
Oh my god, dude. That visual though. Dude, yeah. Baby Drew says Cejudo isn't going to say a word to John. No, but I think you're right, Will. I think that's Cejudo just trying to stay relevant, right?
Yeah, 100%.
100%. All right.
Yeah.
Was that really it this time, Rich? Or do you have any more last second drops?
No, that's it. That's it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Richard Casual, for the news. Appreciate it. Will, do you have anything else?
Watch Ryzen 32. Also, HLB Comer. Cejudo's retirement is by far one of the dumbest of all retirements. I remember when it happened, it was so transparent, and Danny was like, "Trying to pull this shit on me?" All right, cool.
Yeah, we don't
every
need you,
every time they talked about Khabib, he's like, "I don't think he's retired. I don't think he's retired. Conor retires. No, we're gonna talk. I don't know." Anytime someone mentions Cejudo, he retired.
Yeah.
Like,
why are we even talking about him? He's not on the roster.
So funny, dude.
Poor Cejudo.
It just backfired so
a little bit.
bad.
Kind of backfired. But yes, you said Ryzen what?
Ryzen 32 was also this weekend. It starts at like midnight or some shit. But dude, incredible fights.
Yeah, I think
so
like
good.
at 3:30 in the morning over here, something you like send out a text and you're like, dude, you gotta watch this. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. But dude,
awesome.
It was so good, dude. Foot stomps, knees to the head on the ground, back and forth grappling. It was so good. And the next
like
UFC card.
Gods just
Are we
card,
taking?
Huh?
Yeah, are we taking this weekend off or what for Thanksgiving? There's no fights,
dude. And there's no fights.
Yeah, there's no fights. And I'll be honest, the next card, Font versus Aldo, very excited for it. Fiziev versus Riddell, Barbarina versus Matt Brown, Delidze versus Brendan Allen, Menafield versus Knight. Crazy. Jamal Hill versus Jimmy Crute. Crazy card. But that is the day I'm moving. So I don't know if I'll be able to record Sunday morning. I just don't know how that weekend's going to look. So
we could put some of that Everson content or whatever that Rich talks about out, huh?
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see. We'll see. But either way, we'll keep everybody posted and let you know whether we're going to be recording or not. Again, I really, really, really appreciate everybody's support, everybody coming through.
Yeah.
Whenever anybody comments, Baby Drew, HLB Comer, San, Nancy, everybody that hops on, it just makes the podcast so much more fun. Whenever we do this. What is it? Is it Spotify, Breaker Podcast, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts?
And YouTube.
And YouTube, yeah. If you all know anybody that might like MMA, just say, hey, check these guys out. See if you like their content.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah, why not?
Just subscribe. It takes 5 seconds.
It takes 5 seconds. All right.
Just click on us and you click subscribe and it's done.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Well, do you have anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to another week.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Story of the Fight. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. That's right. That's all we got. Thank you, everybody. Another fun week.